I'm going to be doing the inherency, solvency, and significance, as well as a couple of other things I'm going to be addressing. First of all, I'd like to point out that the affirmative side oversimplified the classification of the schedule. Originally, courts classified substances based on their accepted medical use, their abuse potential, and their safety of use under medical supervision. However, the DEA later identified 5 factors to determine whether a drug is currently medically accepted, following which are: the drug's chemistry must be known and reproducible, there must be adequate safety studies, there must be adequate and well-controlled studies proving efficacy, the drug must be accepted by qualified experts, and the scientific evidence must be widely available. The current medical evidence on marijuana requires evaluation using these guidelines to determine the proper classification of marijuana. After which, there's also, I like to kind of talk about what marijuana is a little bit. We all know that it's, it's a plant, it's an herb, all those things. But what makes it work? It has chemicals called cannabinoids. I don't think I pronounced that right. But they affect the central nervous system. These are found in the highest concentration in the leaves and flowers. Those are parts that are used to make medicine. It can either be taken by mouth or smoked. It is usually taken by mouth for medical purposes. A problem with moving it to Schedule 3 is that it doesn't necessarily fit those qualifications of, not being as likely to be abused. Approximately 1 in 10 adult users of marijuana develop addiction. The number is even higher for adolescents. Tolerance and dependence with accompanying downregulation and desensitization of type 1 cannabinoid receptors occur with repeated exposure. So based on this profile, marijuana dosage has to go higher with each use. Otherwise, you'll start to get withdrawal symptoms, which is why addiction and withdrawal is actually widely recognized as a problem. I'd also like to bring up an inherency problem with this, is that there really is no need to move to a different schedule because there's already FDA-approved alternatives to smoking. So there are 2 cannabinoid-based medications, dronabinol and nabilone. I don't think I pronounced those right either. They've already been FDA-approved. Actually, there's additional ones, which are, I'm going to read the common names because the other ones are really long and complicated. So there's compazine, Reglan, and then Torican. Besides that, there's also plenty of alternatives to using marijuana that really just make it not even necessary to bring into the picture. First of which, the affirmative is talking about medical marijuana being an alternative to traditional medication. Well, there's also already one, which is acupuncture. It's used in symptom management. It's used clinically to manage cancer-related symptoms, treat side effects induced by chemotherapy or radiation therapy, boost blood cell count, enhance lymphocyte and natural killer cell activity. Those are what actually fight the cancer. It's also used to treat cancer pain, nausea and vomiting, and then other symptoms that affect the patient's quality of life, including weight loss, anxiety, depression, insomnia, poor appetite, fatigue, hot flashes, chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy, gastrointestinal symptoms, and acupuncture is also good for children as well, so you don't even have to worry about that. I'd like to bring up a solvency problem. It doesn't necessarily work as well as proponents imply. There was moderate quality evidence to support the use of cannabinoids for treatment of chronic pain and spasticity. This was in a meta-analysis of all the different studies done on medical marijuana in the United States. So this is talking about every single one that's ever been done, and they analyzed all of those. Further, there was low quality evidence suggesting that cannabinoids were associated with improvements in nausea and vomiting due to chemotherapy, weight gain, HIV infection, sleep disorders, and Tourette syndrome. Cannabinoids were also associated with an increased risk of short-term adverse effects. Now, the adverse effects are part of what brings it into the Schedule 1. Schedule 3 means that there aren't necessarily any problem adverse effects. However, there really are. There's strong evidence that has emerged for marijuana-induced psychosis that can persist for days or weeks beyond initial period of intoxication, especially for marijuana strains of high potency. Earlier onset of schizophrenia for people who have that in their family, so they're more likely to get it sooner. There's also physical dependence, withdrawal, and clinical addiction effects, as many as 9%. So already those things are putting it in the Schedule 1 category. Further, the significance claim, it's not necessary, as I already stated, because one, there's already cannabinoids in the system that have been FDA approved, so there really is no need to, bring smoking pot to the system more than it kind of already is. And then there's also plenty of alternatives. Thank you.